Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you my fourth vignette that I built for Vign Week 2022. You can find a playlist on the channel where you can already find the first 3 builds that I make for the contest, and 2 more are coming on the channel in the next few weeks. Today we are gonna look at this fourth build. The prompt of this build was to build a vignette bigger than 16 by 16 for a CMF minifigure, and here we have the sushi chef minifigure from the Lego Ninjago movie. If you follow my channel, you might remember I already built a very similar build for the chef that was a minifigure habitat. You can find it on my channel. I will link it down below in the description if you want to check it out. Of course, here I have a much bigger space, so I had a chance to use some of those techniques and also expand and be creative in creating something a little bit more interesting. So as someone reminded me in the past, this sushi chef minifigure actually looked a lot like Hattori from Kill Bill. So I thought it was a good idea to incorporate that in that build. So let's start quickly from the base. Here I added a few details on the side to make it a little bit more interesting. This is very simple, very straightforward. I just added this quarter tiles here to create a nice pattern over there. And here you can also see how I create this detail on the floor. Basically, I'm sliding in some tiles and some bricks to create an interesting pattern from the floor, while the rest of the build is all tiled up. Now, let's start talking a little bit about this left corner here, which is the Hattori corner. So that is where I wanted to put some of his swords. So I wanted to block these, let's say, from the public. So I added a little table over here, made very simply with 3 tiles connected there in the space between the anti-stud. And then I try to create a little bonsai. As you can see here, I use some frog pieces as a little homage to the actually bonsai set. By the way, you can also find a mini Lego bonsai tutorial on my channel if you want to check it out, one of my first videos. Anyway, this I think is okay as a little bonsai to block off the access to that side. Now over here, let's have a look at the sword. So these are regular Lego katana sword that you can find with samurai, with Ninjago and these kind of things. And I decided to make it a little bit more interesting, just adding some rubber bands. So here we have a short one in white and here a bigger one in red. These are of course both from Lego. This is all Lego. So here is how we can make a more interesting handle to this. And I think it's a pretty simple technique. It's not perfect because on some side it gets a bit thicker when you twist it around. But I think it's something a little bit more interesting if you want to have something like this display in your build. Over here, this is how I create the stand. So basically we have modified plate at the bottom, and then we connect these longer brown pieces, and then I use minifigure ends as the actual stand for the sword. So they're gonna all sit there. It was a little bit tricky to actually balance it because with the rubber band they have a little bit too much weight on the side, so they tend to tilt down a little bit, but at the end it works okay. I added a little cabinet at the back there, and also one of these accessory where you can actually store the sword. 2 of them. This is from some Ninjago set, so I thought it was a good addition back there. I didn't have much time because you know this build were to be made in only one day, so I didn't have much time to do much details at the back wall. So what I did is I added this banner that is from the Story of Nyan set, and then some profile bricks over here to make it more interesting. A little bit better instead over here. So here I use basically these window pieces, and I wanted to create this separation between the 2 areas of this sushi restaurant. And over here on top, I use again very simply tiles connected in between plates to create an interesting pattern and make this also a little bit higher without blocking too much the view. A little bit of extra details with the bricks over here, and I think this worked out pretty well. Now let's go and check a little bit the walls, and then we focus more on the area where the sushi chef is. This is a stud not on top technique. It's actually the same one that was in my minifigure habitat. So basically we have modified brick, connected here brick sideways, and that fits in just nice, and where we can block everything on top with some more plates and tiles. So this is a technique that I kept from the original build, as well as the counter itself, which is alternating 10 and dark 10, plates, jumper, and many different kind of things. I also kept this banner over here. This is from a Ninjago Dojo set. And this one I think also was in the same build. This is actually a sticker that I put on a flag to make another sort of sign for this restaurant. Here I added two capes connected to this rod piece over here. I think it fits very well the style of this Japanese restaurant. Usually these don't reach the floor, so this is just perfect entrance for this restaurant. And I think also it matches the color scheme, giving at the same time a little bit of contrast between the colors that I've been using here. Now on the counter we have some accessory that can be removed. Here as chopsticks, we are using Harry Potter wands, even if now Lego released some chopstick pieces. Here we have one teacup and one sort of cup for the soy sauce. Here we also add a little tray, again the same technique that I used for the table that was over here, with a sushi on top. And here we have another sort of sauce and an extra bottle. These are actually connected, so here I have some veggie, I have some, I don't know, piece of salmon or something like that. Let's remove the minifigure a little bit. Anyway, the minifigure is pretty cool. These are both the accessories that come with it. So we have a sushi and we have the knife there. This is actually an headgear, bold one that connects on top. It's a pretty nice and cool minifigure. I always like to incorporate this when I can in my builds. Another thing that I kept from the previous build is the rack for the fishes at the back. I make this a little bit longer compared to the habitat, and I change a little bit the style of the counter on top. On the previous one I had some sort of transparent separation here, some panels, while here I decided to keep it open and more visible. I kept also the same chair style. It's very straightforward. We have one of these with a cone piece on top, and then studs down, 2x2 round with the inverted on top. I just changed the color scheme compared to the habitat because I think this one fits a little bit better the style of the restaurant and the color scheme. I also decided to add a couple of details over there at the back. Let's see if I can access. Here we have a tab. Let me maybe remove these ones so I can show you better what I've done at the back there. So here we have some dishes. I have a sort of space for the dishes, but to prevent this from fall over, I actually added an headlight brick there so they can connect to the back side. Over here we have, I added some bubbles with this ice cream piece and some transparent round 1x1 to create the effect of this washing water. Actually those are inside some panels. Let me see if I can open this up. Yes, so you can see inside. So I make these panels a little bit lower and then block it with another 2x3 on the side, so that just a tiny part of it come up higher than the countertop, and I think it was a pretty good effect. Now I need to put it back together again because I want maybe to keep this for a little while before dismantling. Usually I dismantle most of my mocks right away. This one I might hold on a little bit longer too, till when probably I will need the parts to build something else. Anyway, here you can have a quick look at the next two builds from this contest that I will share on the channel. I still have a lot of video planned for the channel, so step by step I will show you everything, always with my schedule of 2 uploads per week. Let me know what you think about this build in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao ciao!